good Judys?
Hi, Judys.
Good morning, my Judys. It's so good to be back with you.
Pew, 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 pew.
Pew, 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 pew. I'm back, baby. Back in New York. Harlem's best.
Back in the New York groove. Wait, Bradley, how was being on a boat?
It was great. I did two cruises back to back. It was lovely. I did it with my friend, West End actress Heba El Sheikh, who I love, who's one of my dear friends.
Wait.
Their full name is Weston actress Heba Van Sheik.
Heba Van Sheik.
Y'all didn't listen to any of that. West End actress Heba El Sheikh.
I listened to all of it, but the way you said West End did not sound like... It sounded like a name, Weston.
Her name is actress Heba El Sheikh.
She's a Brit, and she's fabulous. In the first cruise, she did without any guest, as I did, and then the second one, she had a friend, and Adam came with me on the second one, and we had a good old time. It was really fun.
I feel like there's someone we came up with that would change their name to West End actress.
I feel like it too. One of the freaks we went to college with.
Everyone say it on three. One,
no,
two.
No, I don't want
to. No, we're not saying names.
I don't want to bleep anything. I don't have the energy to do that.
Also, sorry to call y'all freaks. I just woke up. That was really aggressive. That was aggressive. I would never call someone a freak.
Well, you're really talking about what? We're talking about one freak, really.
I'm talking about many freaks.
Freaks and geeks, honey.
Anyways, I'm happy the boat was good.
Yeah, the boat was great.
You did miss our chat about Bad Bunny, but any quick thoughts on the Bad Bunny halftime show?
Bad Bunny, give it to me. And I mean that in so many ways.
Swinging that schlong around.
That's my takeaway. And that was for the culture. We love to see it. And I love that y'all didn't have my black ass take on this Super Bowl episade last week.
I'm sorry.
But my black ass take my black ass take on that is that I hope, Dan, as a Latin man, I hope that you can see and feel how the black community were down. You know what I mean?
Oh,
we were in.
Of course.
We were in. We're always
Locked in.
Locked in.
Yes. 100%.
So that's my takeaway. Loved it. Love him.
Fun.
Yep.
Gorgeous. I want to go to VIP with Bad Bunny.
I'll go in the VIP room with Bad Bunny. I don't need anybody else to go.
Dan can be your translator.
No.
I'm not there for that. I don't want to be there for that. I'm not there for that.
Come on, bro.
I'm off that day. I'm
picturing Bradley and Bad Bunny having like a romantic moment, and Dan is like translating what he's saying to Bradley. He's like, okay, so what he just said was that he would like you to kind of go a little slower.
Romance needs no translation. That feels very Shakespearean. Or romance needs no translation.
They've just discovered a new Shakespeare play.
Romance needs no translation between me and Bad Bunny.
Oh Lord. Well, today we are going to dive into some hot topics.
Yes.
Hot topics.
Hot topics in the coach.
And yeah, Bradley, do you want to take? Let's save ANTM for the back half of this. But you want to lead us with our first hot topic for today?
Well, I got back from the ship, yes, but I kind of feel like I need to get back on a plane and go to Arizona and help out with the Nancy Guthrie case, because my takeaway so far is that no one is working. No one is working. No one is solving anything. Where is Miss Nancy? Can you please give this lady, not this lady, this family, their mother back? Can they give them their granny back? Like, where are we in the world where people are so crazy and so, like, willing to do anything that we are snatching grannies? It's been 3 weeks and there's no suspects. There's no DNA. There's no idea where she is. There's nothing except that little bit of footage from her security camera that they had to work so deeply with the the company that makes it to find this footage, and there's no lead up to who it is. They found gloves that they did DNA work with they felt they had some big breakthroughs, and that was nothing. There was no DNA of her. There was no DNA of suspects. They've blocked out all the possibility of her family being in some type of way involved. They're not involved. I'm like, you're looking in the wrong places. How far could you have taken an 84-year-old heart up? Where could she be? It just drives me crazy. I don't know how y'all feel about true crime documentaries, but I am very much in it. I'm in it, and I feel like I need to have a meeting with the FBI because I feel like we're not looking in the right places. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
FBI. Please
the whole time,
call Bradley Rashad.
Last week on the cruise, Heba and I kept being like, so here's our meeting. I want to be like at the table like Joan Crawford and Mommy Dearest. I'm like, listen up, fellas.
Big conference room.
Yeah. Listen up, fellas. Let's begin the case. First, the first thing I want to say, and this makes me sad, this is only my opinion, mind you. Also, all this that I'm saying is not a joke. It's actually very, very heartbreaking and sad. I think it's horrific. It is horrific. I would have to be locked up if that would happen to my mother or my grandmother. Like, I would have to be sedated. Like, I don't know how is Savannah Guthrie getting through life day by day? But I feel like the conversation I would want to have would have to be like, number one, like, are we talking about the fact that Miss Guthrie is probably not with us anymore? And that makes me very sad. I've lost hope in her being alive just because she was already so, the ailments and the age. And
she's so frail. I mean, she had like heart medication that she needed to take every day, right? She could barely walk. She used a cane, I think.
She had a pacemaker.
Yeah. And
the pacemaker is not getting it's not doing what it's supposed to do anymore because it was closely activated. I have a grandmother with the pacemaker, and you have check-ins with the doctor to make sure that it's working. And also there's machines that are like externally that are helping monitor the charges that it's getting to the heart and stuff. She doesn't have any of that now. So she's so compromised that it's just, it's a really, of course I have hope that she's still with us, but every week that passes, it's just like,
yeah, I mean, she went missing. The last time she was seen alive was January 31st. And then that's it.
We're recording this February 20th. That's not looking good. It's just all very sad. I think that my personal opinion on the crime is that I think it went kind of left. I think that whoever these people are that did this, I think probably were coming from I don't think it's as deep as like the Epstein files and all this stuff. I really think it's just some foolery. We're at a place in America right now where the fools are out. The fools are out. And they're willing to do anything. And I think it's a sad reality that when you are a public person, that people sometimes want to get to you, especially if you are as public as being on someone's television screen every single day. And I think that this woman was probably well known in her little town, church-wise. And I think it went left because maybe she did pass away. Maybe she did have some sort of issue where the idea of getting ransom money and stuff, it kind of changes the whole plot and plan when she's no longer alive. So the criminals probably are scrambling or have done something with the body. Yeah. I just think that it's so sad, and I want it to get solved because I want the family to be at ease.
I'm not one for conspiracy theories like Tom is with the moon landing, but I want to talk a little bit for those of you who don't know what the connection is to the whole Epstein of it all. And Prince Andrew, who was also just arrested yesterday and questioned for 12 or 15 hours. And if you've seen that photo of him in the car, it's shocking.
Just shocking.
Like, horrible. But I think they're going to end up getting him on like sharing political secrets and not anything to do, unfortunately, with trafficking or like, sexual assault and pedophilia.
That's
but
kind of a bummer, though.
it is a bummer, but
Yeah.
I hope they get him. But so the whole thing about this conspiracy theory is that Savannah Guthrie in 2019 interviewed Virginia Giuffre, I think is how you say her last name, who was the whistleblower on this Epstein case, the person saying that she was trafficked to a prince, saying that she was trafficked to Prince Andrew. And she was found dead last year, allegedly by suicide, even though she's mentioned multiple times in interviews that she would never unalive herself, that she would never do that, and if she was found dead...
That just made my heart do something crazy.
She said that she would never do it, and that if she was ever found dead, that something was wrong. So now, years later, Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy, has also disappeared under mysterious circumstances, and people are wondering if it's a coincidence or if it's tied into a larger thing. If Savannah Guthrie hadn't interviewed Virginia Giuffre in that way, would it have been brought to such national attention? Also, I'm just saying, there's clips that from Nancy's Facebook that are super Trump critical, which is not, I think this is going way too far, saying that, someone came in and took her because of her political views, but I don't know. There's one that says, "I'm so looking forward to seeing the Trump family in jail." Then there's another one that says, "I always look at the people behind Trump at his rallies. They laugh and mock and are thrilled at the nastiness. I bet they all consider themselves followers of Jesus. Explain it to me." So that's where the
Dan, you're dropping bombs on me.
Yeah. So that's where people think that it's somehow connected. The conspiracy of it all is that because this wouldn't have gained, no offense, as much attention as if it was a regular 84-year-old woman who was abducted. Yes, equally as horrible and terrifying, but because Savannah is a media personality and has so many friends in the media and across the broadcast spectrum, it's getting 24/7 nonstop news cycle, which is great for visibility, but also there are conspiracies that maybe it's trying to distract from the Epstein files or something else, which I don't necessarily buy into, but I think it's to your point, Bradley, I don't know. It's too random and calculated to me to be just a dumbass tomfoolery person coming in to abduct an 84-year-old mother with nothing. And now
it's just not like the person that
there's talks that now she's in Mexico, so they're getting the Mexico authorities involved, or that she may have been trafficked to another country, or it's just like, what are you gonna get from her?
It's just not the person that you kidnap. That doesn't make any sense. And to me, it just doesn't. It's not that there is a person you kidnap, you know what I mean? But it's just that's such a wild person to kind of get money out of in that way.
Right. If you kidnap her, she's going to die,
As someone who kidnaps, that's not the one you get.
That's not
someone who is very kidnappable. That's not who you kidnap. Yeah,
it really isn't though.
I would be a nightmare if I was kidnapped. But
I would make fun of it. All those memes of you and your best friend get captured by the robber, and he misspells one word or he mistakes one word. That you know what I'm talking about.
The problem is, if you kidnap me, you would kill me immediately. I know for a fact, I would be the worst person to kidnap because I would be fighting. I would be cursing. I would be acting crazy. I would be silent. I would lock my body up and not do. They would kill me.
Well, I'm in a moment right now where I feel that everything's connected. I'm getting a little, and I do think I'm getting a little too conspiracy theory about certain things. I'm not trying to go full QAnon, but it's just there are things about everything that's happening politically right now is all a bunch of, to quote Jada Essence Hall, it's all a bunch of look over there moments, and it's just hard when the news cycle moves so quickly, when there's so much going on, to focus on one story when there's so many. I think that the Epstein situation is so insane, so insanely unreported on right now. Like, I think that the information coming out of it is almost feeling like lukewarm, because there's just so much mania happening. Right? I mean, the newest thing is, we're talking about aliens, and like, it's like all of these things may be true. Like, all of these crazy things that people are alleging may be true, but in the end of it, we need to be persecuting the people who are in the Epstein files that did illegal acts. Like,
that did illegal acts, that did bad stuff. Get them.
It's really shocking to me the way that Trump has really done a brilliant job at making this seem like it's a not real thing.
Yeah.
And making liberal media and just liberal people look crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's too my beginning point of saying, like, the world is in such a crazy place. I think if there's something positive to be said about Trump, not positive, but something that he's doing well, it's at making people get hyped up, saying whistleblowing comments that get people riled up with racism and feel empowered to do crazy things. People feel desperate too. Mm-hmm. And people feel empowered. The people that feel empowered are the bad people, and the people that feel disempowered are angry and are wanting more information. So the liberals are going nuts too. He has everybody going nuts, and that is leaving us so susceptible to civil war, to kidnappings, to killings, to mass destruction. It's like, damn, this monster, this clown is ruining us. It's just, and don't even get me started on RFK. I can't. Because talking about the last episode that I missed with you guys, y'all talking about that commercial, and now on top of it, that video of RFK and Kid Rock working out. Give me a fucking break. How?
But also, my thing with RFK that I will always go back to is he delegitimizes the movement to make people healthier.
Yes. And I have told you guys, like, as someone who loves health and who loves the idea and understands the importance of clean eating and non-processed food, you take away all the entire point of it with your fucking idiocy. Oh my God. It's crazy.
Saying that he was never scared of a germ because he used to snort cocaine off a bathroom toilet seat.
Wait, Dan, you didn't say it right. It was this. It was.
What did he say?
I've never been scared of the toilet seat.
That is the man in charge of public health of our country. He said he wasn't afraid of COVID because he used to snort coke off of a toilet seat. What the fuck? What the fuck? I'm getting so mad. The caffeine's hitting me.
Well, you know what had me screaming what the fuck this week is this America's Next Top Model documentary.
Let's get into it.
Okay. Nuts. I don't know how anyone could forget, but I certainly forgot how insane it was, and what a crazy fucking time that we lived in the early aughts. That
I forgot
just
too.
Escaped my mind, the sheer madness and insanity of some of these shoots and the episodes, and the way reality TV came into the zeitgeist, like after Real World and after, all of this stuff. It's just insane.
Yeah.
For
those who don't know, on Netflix they dropped Reality Check Inside America's Next Top Model. It's a 3-episode series.
It needs to be 10 episodes, but yes.
It needs to be 10. Yeah.
Yes.
That covers the madness, behind the scenes madness, and on camera madness that's around America's Next Top Model. And it does feature Tyra Banks herself, executive producer and showrunner Ken Mock, as well as Jay Manuel, Miss J, Nigel Barker, and some other judges, and then some notable contestants such as Kenya, Danny, Shandy,
Ebony,
Shannon, Ebony.
Shandy.
For those that for the girls that know. So that's what we're talking about. And my two big takeaways I had from it. One was, and don't think there was a space in this doc to dive into this. But Bradley, I'm especially curious kind of your perspective on this, because I feel as an outsider watching all of this is that Tyra treated, I don't know her current situation, but in the show, she treated the black contestants so differently than she treated the white contestants on the show. An example of that is, well, she just had different beauty standards for the black contestants. She had different standards for the way they talked. She had different standards for the way they walked, for the way they moved into any space. And it may be her own shit, but like, for instance, Danny, who was on cycle 6, a big moment in the series is that she had a gap between her 2 front teeth, and she was like, I'm proud of this. Like, I love my body. I love me. I love this part of me. It makes me individual. And Tyra begged her to close it, and she said that the executive producers were like, she won't work if it's not closed, all this stuff. And then about 6 years later, 10 cycles later, there is a white girl on the show with a gap in her teeth. And instead of closing the gap, Tyra insists that they make the gap bigger.
Wider, yeah.
It's nuts.
And also the way that she yells at Tiffany about the "we were rooting for you" moment. You know, I feel that the moment that like is telling too, and all of that is like when she says that her mom, the way she never yells at people like this.
When my mom yells at me like this because she loves me, yeah.
And
also,
it's like,
the stuff
I'm just,
that was unaired
she wouldn't
in
do
the
that
Tiffany
to the white
stuff that has been reported, saying that you go back to sleeping on a mattress on the floor with your baby, like
allegedly that was cut
shit
from the show.
Yeah.
But Bradley, do you have like any thoughts on that in general? That was just a big takeaway I had watching that.
I agree with you. I think I see that. And, you know, when Adam and I were watching this last night, because I told Adam, I was like, I have to do research. Tom and Dan have watched, and we're discussing this on the pod tomorrow. And we started talking about, one, you're right, Tom, like, wow, I didn't realize how problematic the show was, but also how much it struck me. And I think why it struck y'all is because we were watching it in real time, and like it was one of the shows. Like in my household, we got ready to watch it together. And we were all watching it. It was appointment television, right? It was water cooler conversation. And Tyra Banks, I didn't realize how famous Tyra Banks was in America and the world prior to the show, right? I was saying to Adam, I was like, essentially, Tyra Banks was the equivalent to what Cindy Crawford was in the early 90s and 80s in America. She was America's supermodel, right? She has happened to be black. Therefore, Tyra has had to push through boundaries and push through hardships that I can only imagine to get where she got to. Obviously, we know that she was mean-girled or bullied in some ways by Naomi Campbell, or felt less than and felt like she had to break through in the fashion world because she wasn't from the UK, or she wasn't European or some sort of other nationality. She was just a black girl from America, from California. I think that what the documentary showed me is that Tyra is fully in the sunken place. She's crazy.
Absolutely.
And I say that with respect, because I also I don't want to ever be talking down about a black woman, because I can only imagine what Tyra had to go through. And also I give Tyra mad props for creating something that became massive, but at the same time, it was so problematic. And she did a lot of problematic things. And it shows in the documentary that like she had a big hand in it. And she never took accountability for it in the documentary.
At all.
And like,
she, I think, apologized once for, and was it for the Tiffany thing? I don't remember what it was for.
She apologized to Kenya. So Kenya was a contestant on Cycle 4.
That's right, with the male model. Yeah.
Yeah, who's assaulted on a photo shoot set. And Mr. J and the other like artistic creative team that were on set that day, they were all kind of like, we're here.
Everyone's a professional.
Like nothing weird is happening. We're here watching. Like, you're in a safe space. because she tried to confront it day of, and so she essentially got silenced. And then at the judging panel, Tyra essentially kind of told her to laugh it off. And in the documentary, she says that her and Kenya reconnected in the last couple of years, and Tyra reached out and apologized to her. So that was the only apology we heard of in the whole 3-hour documentary.
Yeah, Tyra never takes accountability, and I think Tyra, just as I don't want to speak poorly about a black woman, I also want people to take accountability for what they do that's wrong. And she kept saying in the documentary, like, it was a different time, the world was different, how we spoke to people was different, what we saw as problematic was different. Well, it's like, if that's the case, then we also take accountability and give really true, sincere apologies and hold ourselves accountable for what we did that was wrong. And I never saw it said clear enough for me to say, Tyra, we need to release Tyra from this. She has held herself accountable. She has not.
And none of them have, really. I mean, in a way, the documentary puts the other judges, Nigel Barker, Miss J, and Jay Alexander, in a better position. And Ken Mock is kind of in his own world, and he apologized only for, I think, the domestic violence shoot. And not to mention the eating disorder shoot or the homeless people shoot where they were photographed with actual unhoused people in the background. Or the race switching shoot. Like, there's so much shit back there. And to a certain degree, yes, it was a product of the time. And, like, a size 4 was considered fat, insane standards. And then she says so many things. She was like, we're trying to change and radicalize the fashion industry. And then in the judging, she said, it is the fashion industry, though. And then didn't stand by any of her morals. But the thing that gets me most about Tyra, though, is that she excuses herself from any accountability in the documentary by saying that that was production, or that was X, Y, and Z, and that was this, and I didn't have a hand in that. I'm like, you're the executive producer of the show.
You have
the power. She has the power to say no.
Yes.
Like, that's the level. And I know that she had network execs, but she's the EP.
No,
like, she can be like,
cows.
Cut. Yeah, oh God, I hated that she kept saying that.
And I took that to mean,
end of the day,
you too, Tyra.
Isn't it crazy too? Looking at the documentary, it's like, what is the guy's name? Kevin what?
Ken Mock.
Ken Mock, Tyra Banks, J. Manuel, Miss J. All of these people are,
don't forget
Nigel, all people of color. All of them. Every single one of them.
Nigel's not a person of color.
Right.
I would consider
he's Sri Lankan.
No, he is Sri Lankan. No, he is. He's not a white person. All of these people are non-white people, people of color, and they are agreeing to very problematic things. And it's just, it was watching it, and we watched all 3 episodes. I couldn't stop. Like, both of us, it's very rare that Adam and I are like, let's keep it going. We got to finish this out. Yep. But like, wow, all these people of color made this thing, and it's so problematic. It's so bad. Wow. What was the girl's name who got drunk and had sex with the guy? Shandy. I really feel for her.
Her longtime boyfriend, who was working at a Walgreens and was like, stunning, but gets on the show. She makes it to, where were they? Milan, I think. Milan.
Somewhere in Italy. Yeah.
Somewhere in Italy. And they had they go on the go-sees, and there were 4 or 5 guys on Vespas, and all of the models got to choose their male escort, if you will, to escort them around the city and take them on the go-sees. And then production decided that night they would invite the drivers, the like young, handsome men of the Vespas who were driving the models around, to come to their house, the model house, and have a party with them, have a drink and hang out and whatever. And so the night, as it goes on, they're all drinking. I'm sure a lot of them didn't eat that day, so they're getting drunk and wasted, and they're getting in hot tubs and drinking, and, they're all filming this. Everyone is filming it. They're filming everything. And so Shandy, who is in a committed monogamous relationship with her boyfriend of many years, is all of a sudden, getting handsy with this guy who was flirting with her and putting his hands all over her and touching her in the hot tub and then making out, and then they cut to them. They don't cut to them. Well, they do in the shower.
No, they do.
The shower together.
They showed them having sex
in the shower.
Or blurred things out.
Yes, and then in the bedroom, and no one stopped it. No one on production
and apparently
stopped it.
That was a second cut. There was a more intense version that the network didn't air.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, something I found fascinating about it too is that they brought up the Janet Super Bowl, and they were talking about how after the Janet Justin Timberlake titty mishap at the Super Bowl, it changed a lot of television moving forward about like what can and cannot be shown, and the FCC put so many constrictions on what it was that could and could not be on network television, and because of that was the only reason that they pulled back the edit on the sexual assault. And guys, like it is sexual assault. And it is shocking that it was put on camera, put on network TV. We were just told that it was just like drunken antics. And then on top of all that, they show a clip of the day after where, and also with all of this, Tyra gives the reaction of, the producers of the documentary ask her about it, and she says, you know, she's like, oh, Shandy, do I remember Shandy? What happened with Shandy? Oh, I do remember that.
That was the worst acting that she's
really
ever
talk
done.
About that though,
and that's
terrible.
Saying something.
Yeah, and I've seen Halloween H2O Resurrection. Okay, and she's
and then on the Tyra Banks show, the reunion, forcing her to watch it and then asking her why she wasn't looking at the video.
So yeah, Shandy. So Shandy got eliminated from the show after all that happened because she was just trying to get out of the show after the assault.
She was broken.
She was broken. Never modeled again. After the show, Tyra asked her and a group of some other contestants to come onto the Tyra Banks show. She just says yes because what else do? You're getting an opportunity to go back on TV. And Tyra asked her about the situation in Italy, and Shandy says that she's never watched it and she never plans on watching it because it was so traumatizing to her.
Yeah.
And Tyra said, okay, well, we are going to watch it right now, and pressed play and made Shandy watch it. Shandy had her head down the whole time, would not watch it, with a camera right in her face. And then Tyra continues to ask her like why she won't look at it. It's like, this is not investigative reporting. This is not journalism. This is
exploitation.
It's exploitation. You monetizing off of these girls' trauma.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think one of my two big takeaways from the show, I couldn't help but think about, the idea of, because we all went to college for the arts and went to conservatory, and there's this idea that you must always be so grateful or you should do anything to break in. And this is an example of the extreme of how, like, there are boundaries and you are allowed to have boundaries for yourself, even under the guise of a reality show or whatever it might be. Like, don't sacrifice your morals, yourself, your safety for your dream. And I think that they just put these young women in such compromised positions, women that came from regular everyday life, working at Walgreens, middle of America, had no concept of how to break into this world, right? Breaking into modeling, things are so different now in social media, but doing it in a time before social media, it was kind of like, how do you do it? And just to know that these women went through this, these young girls, not women, they actually, now that we are mid-30s aunties, we can look back and be like, those girls were babies.
Yeah.
Someone was watching their daughter on this show. Like, essentially, that young woman we're saying she was in this monogamous relationship and it was so intense. It was kind of like her first love. She was a little girl. She wasn't a grown woman. She was a little girl. So that call to her boyfriend, telling her boyfriend that she slept with someone else, for him and for her, it's so gut-wrenching because it's that affects your whole life and how you look at romance, how you look at sex, how you look at everything. It's just, I think about young artists. I'm just like, hey, young artists, have boundaries for yourself. Don't sacrifice them. You're not wrong. Don't let people put you in situations that make you feel uncomfortable under any circumstance. Don't let anyone say anything to you that makes you feel less than in any way. I don't care if it's a teacher. I don't care if it's the person that's at the top of their game.
Right.
If they're doing that and it's making you feel bad in any shape or form, it's not okay. And my second takeaway, on a positive note, is I didn't realize how much liberation Miss J gave to me as a young black gay boy in North Carolina.
Right.
Being so themselves without any apologies. Just some of those clips made me laugh and made me smile and almost made me cry, just because I was like, wow, I needed him so bad. I needed him so bad. And the fact that I was sitting there watching it with my grandma, with my mom, and us all enjoying him and never commenting on any of his ways and negative ways, loving him actually.
Yeah.
Man,
all
I
of
needed
them,
him.
everyone on the show uplifting him. And he was never a punchline ever.
Yeah. And he was so authentically himself.
Yeah, he both the Jays were like not tokenized in any way. They were just like, these are the people that will make you great. It was never like, oh, this is my gay friend. This is my like it was just like, no, that is a legend in the fashion industry. You need to respect what they say. Like you really took these black queer men seriously, because
so I will give
they should
Tyra
be
props
seriously.
for that, right? The beginning of the documentary, when she says about the idea of the show, how she was like, oh, I'm going to make this show. Who's going to be on the show with me? These two that are incredible people in the industry, makeup artist and runway walk extraordinaire, they're stars, they're excellent, they're the ones to get you together. So I think it just also affirms, especially for this pod, gays make things better.
First come the gays, then come the girls.
Then come the girls.
And shout out to Miss J too, who's been through a lot, having suffered a stroke. That was it was sad to see the documentary end in that way, just in the sense of like, oh, like is it he or they? Is Miss J?
He.
I don't want to disrespect.
I think he. No, I believe he's still he.
Yeah.
To know that they've gone through a stroke, which is such, as we get older, health things happen to us, whether it be strokes, heart attacks, life, and to see the things that made them feel human and alive, walking was such a big part of their life and their work.
Right.
And their
was in
joy.
A coma for 5 months. Like that's that's a lot.
Shout out to them. Shout out to Miss J, and just thank you. Thank you, Miss J.
Tyra couldn't visit.
Well,
Tyra couldn't visit.
It couldn't send a text.
It's insane.
Famously,
but a positive. Yeah. A positive. Yeah. Miss J is walking now.
Yes.
In real time.
Yes.
They've been doing some of the press, and they are more mobile than they were when the documentary was filming. So very happy to see that. Well, we're gonna take a quick break and come back with our Judge Judys for the week. Okay, we're back. Time to judge some things. Who wants to take it away? I can go. Do you want me to go?
Go.
I can go too.
Okay. I'm gonna say in the realm of ANTM, since we're talking about it. My judgment, obviously judging Tyra, but this Judy is also gonna throw some judgment at Mr. J, because I think Mr. J is getting off a little scot-free here. Mr. J's smart. I think Mr. J is the smartest of the bunch up there. And Mr. J clocked, when everyone was watching the show in 2020, that things were going to come up about how the show doesn't age well, how problematic so many pieces of the show are. And he started entering himself into the conversation then. He was doing Instagram lives with old contestants. He was talking about how certain shoots he never stood behind. He was trying to get ahead of it all. And then he wrote this book, this novel about ANTM that's like a narrative version of him and Tyra's story, based loosely on what happened to him and Tyra on the set of America's Next Top Model. And all of this to say, I still feel like since the resurgence of ANTM during COVID and now, he's still trying to make money off the back of like creating so much trauma in this universe. And in the documentary, kind of doesn't really take any blame himself, but instead puts it all on EPs, puts it all on Tyra specifically.
Yeah.
You were still there, and you were still saying some crazy shit to these people,
and saying yes.
Yeah.
You had to sit down. You had to sit down with this woman, Amy, on cycle 12, I believe, who physically had physically changed throughout the filming of the season due to stress, and she had put on some weight. And they show a clip of him saying some of the most embarrassing, shitty things to this woman about her body, and like it's like you still did that though. And you're not really, just because you got ahead of the blackface, just because you got ahead of Tyra's treatment of the contestants, doesn't mean that you don't also have your own set of issues that you should be willing to address and or apologize for. So I still think there's some more accountability to be done.
I love that, Tom, because I think we spend a lot of time here asking for accountability from Tyra, for more accountability, actually just for some accountability. I don't think Tyra's really taking any, but I think that we can't forget Mr. J, because Mr. J talks about in the documentary, has made a book and makes a big point about how him and Tyra were essentially like besties, right? He's saying that they were like besties that slept over together and were making ideas and plans of how to make the show work. So it's like, if that's the story, then also you have some accountability to hold in this as well.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I'll go. It's also ANTM related, but mine's more marketed towards Tyra or maybe the other EPs and Ken Mock. So on cycle 8, was it? I think cycle 8, they did a domestic violence photo shoot. And where I'm going with this, or a crime shoot or whatever it was, where the models were victims of different crimes.
Yeah, it was like brutally murdered.
Like there was a beheading, there was a shooting, there was a stabbing, there was like horrible stuff. And there was a contestant on cycle 8 named Dion Walters, I think is his name.
I almost thought you said Dionne Warwick.
Mike, please
walk on by.
Leave Dionne Warwick out of this. Also, she will cuss you out if she heard.
Absolutely.
She would. You actually bring Dionne into this.
Bring Dionne in. Is she still with us? I don't know.
She is.
Yes, she's very much with us.
Dionne Walters. She is
her mom.
Her mom was shot domestic violence in the head, I think, or in the back, and was left paralyzed. And it has to use a scooter and has to use a wheelchair to get around because she was helping her ex-lover with trying to get him off of drugs. And it was part of the narrative of the episode of her story arc on the show, was how her mother was a victim of gun violence and how she's helping her mother recover. And then they get to this shoot and they specifically give Dionne the brief of her getting shot in the head and being a victim of gun violence after telling production that she was helping her mother get over being shot and left paralyzed for life.
How fucked up is that?
It's so
fucked
up.
Something about that is in the... So there's a podcast that... there is a podcast that dropped, I think, sometime at the end of last year. I just sent it to Dan, but it's called Curse of America's Next Top Model. And one of the episodes in the podcast, they talk about the psych evals that they would do on the show. And in the context of ANTM, oftentimes they would use those psych evals against the contestants. Mm-hmm. So in that psych eval, Dionne likely said that this happened to her mom, and this is something that she deals with in her family. And instead of being like, oh, that's something we should note if anything around that comes up, we need to protect her. Instead, it's how can we exploit this?
Yes,
it's
how
the
can
same
we
thing
use
of
this
like
as a
when the
story?
girls
How can we
say,
do- yeah.
I'm scared of spider, on like a much lighter note of a girl being like, I'm scared of spiders. And then what are the chances that there's a spider shoot
On
where they're
her
crawling all
face.
over you? That's much lighter, obviously, but like they used these psych evals to create good TV and work against the contestants. So, yeah.
Well, I'll go next. Since I'm last, my Judge Judy, and I have to, it's nothing about Next Top Model. Mine is about the manners of individuals when traveling on airplanes. I don't know what it's going to take to get people to realize that when the plane lands, everyone getting up and trying to get off first is ridiculous. Yesterday on this plane, and mind you, here's the thing about me. Now at 35, I boldly stand in my place as I'm very grown. So when I'm around kids and teens, I will get you together. I will get these kids together. If you're not going to, I will. And there was a group of Jewish teens on some sort of trip from Fort Lauderdale to New York, and they were all very excited about it. They were all acting up on the plane. Like, they were all very teenagey. I remember choir trips on planes like this. Like, they're getting up, they're sitting on laps, they're eating all the snacks, they're clapping when we land, they're doing the most. But these two boys were sitting, I was on the aisle and they were the two seats next to me, and they immediately were saying, excuse me, to get their carry-on bags out of the compartments up top, and they were just all in the way, and all these kids were just going mayhem. Mind you, there were quite a few families on the plane with kids and babies and car seats, and they're trying to get themselves together. There also were a lot of elderly people. This is Fort Lauderdale, so either you're coming from a cruise and a family trip or you're an elderly person. It's going to take some time for us to get off of this plane. And I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. So I literally had to tell these young boys, I said, you need to go back and sit down. And they were like, what? I was like, go back into your seat and sit down, because the family in front of us, there was a gay couple in front of us that had two kids. Both kids were under the age of 3. One is a toddler running around trying to keep him focused and navigating him. The other was a younger girl who was in a car seat. They just had a lot of stuff. And the lady next to me, on the aisle seat next to me, was an older lady who had a walker, who needed time. I'm like, do you see that you're in the way? You're in the way of these families, of this elderly lady. We all want to get off the plane. What makes you think that you need to get off before everybody else? We're in row 21. There are 21 rows. There are 20 rows in front of us that are going to get off first. Sit down. Sit down. I will school and gather a child, especially a teenager, especially a little nasty, stinking teenager boy. I'll get you together. Teach these kids how to act on planes. And I also will get together an old person too, not a senior. But there was a man behind me too, being like, I wish everyone would hurry up. And I looked at him and I said, sir, we all got to get off. I said, are you running somewhere? And he was just like, oh.
You were ready to fight.
I was ready to fight. I was ready to fight.
My thing about that in general is like, if you want to get off first, guess what you should do? Book the first seat.
Exactly. And look, there are moments
if you want to get off last, you should book the last seat.
I've been on a plane before where they make an announcement, like they talk to the flight attendant, like, this person has 11 minutes to sprint across the airport. Please, everyone stay in their seat. Let them. Yeah, of course. Like, I'm happy to, but like, why are you 4 rows behind me, standing at the edge of my aisle? I can't even get in my row, and I need to get my suit. I need to get my suitcase.
My favorite thing is I'm mostly a carry-on only flyer.
Yeah.
Like, I'll check a bag every once in a while. Even if I'm going like international, I really try and just do as much as I can in my away suitcase.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite thing is when you see one of those people who were rushing to get to the front, and then you go out to get your Uber, and who do you see waiting for a bag that's still not there?
Baggage claim, yes.
Like, the baggage claim cart hasn't even started going in circles, and you're sitting there waiting for your bag. I'm like, you wanted to get off that bad so you could go stand down and stare at the baggage claim.
Right.
Exactly.
Dispenser,
Carousel.
Empty carousel. It's crazy. So.
And shout out to the gay couple who I helped out in that moment because they thanked me, and they also kind of got a chuckle because they were like, wow, you really thank you. And I was like, I got y'all. Like, these kids, go sit down. And funny, I realized in the moment, I didn't even realize how strongly I said it. But the second I said it, they immediately sat down. And I was like, oh, but good.
As they should.
Sit down.
As they should. Well, guys, this wraps up this week's episode of Good Judys. Thank you all for being here. This is a good one.
It was
Covered
great.
a lot of very serious topics.
Highs,
but I hope we brought some levity to it.
Yeah.
And can we end this saying that we are sending love and prayers to the family of Nancy Guthrie and Savannah Guthrie? Please continue to pray and hope for the best outcome and that they get some sort of solution and resolution.
Let her go. Let her
Let
go.
her go.
And also some positive vibes to all of the amazing contestants of America's Next Top Model that are using their voice to tell their stories.
Yes.
And that's a brave thing to do when there is scary executive producers staring at you while you do it. Shout out to y'all for having the strength to do that, because even the ones that weren't featured on the show are coming out on social media to speak about it. So I just want to give some love to them too.
Yeah. Love you, girls.
Yeah. You and follow the podcast for more hot topics. You can follow us at Good Judys Pod on Instagram. You can follow me at the Tom Hamlett. Make sure to support us on YouTube as well at youtube.com/GoodJudysPod.
You can follow me at Brad Gibson 13.
And me at Dan Rosales.
We were hot this one,
Bye.
guys. Bye.
Bye.
Good Judys is produced by Bradley Gibson, Tom Hamlett, and Dan Rosales. Podcast art is shot and edited by Josh Drake at Drake's Takes. And our theme song is No I Love Yous by Bradley Gibson. Follow us on Instagram at Good Judys Pod. And thank you for being a friend. See you next time.